Ever installed Windows and seen one of those default product keys? Or maybe you've wondered how huge companies handle Windows licenses for like thousands of computers? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into something that's often misunderstood, but actually pretty strategic. Windows generic product keys. We've gathered the sources, tech docs, reports, your notes to really pull out the important stuff. Our mission: unpack what these keys are, why they're here, and crucially, why they are not what a lot of people think. Think of this as your shortcut to getting properly informed about, well, a really vital piece of the Windows world. Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly are these generic keys we hear about, these default keys?
Right. So there are these specific 25-character codes from Microsoft, sometimes called default keys, like you said.
Yeah.
And the interesting part here, it's not just some technical quirk. It's actually a very deliberate, strategic move by Microsoft. Their main job, their fundamental role, is to let you install or upgrade a specific Windows Edition, Home, Pro, Enterprise. But here's the kicker: without needing a unique activated license key right then and there.
Ah, okay. So install or upgrade, that's the key phrase.
Exactly. It's about getting Windows onto the machine. They absolutely do not grant activation or any usage rights by themselves. Installation, not activation. That's the core distinction.
Right, right. Installation, not activation. Got it. So if they don't activate, why bother? What's their practical use?
Oh, they're super useful in certain situations. Think about evaluation or testing. They're perfect for setting up Windows temporarily, maybe on a physical PC or a VM, just to try it out.
So you don't bring a real license just for a test drive.
Precisely. It saves costs, keeps license management cleaner. Also, think about temporary installs. You can install Windows now, even if you don't have the final license key handy, intending to activate it properly later.
Okay, I can see that for IT departments, maybe, getting machines ready.
Absolutely. It helps with business continuity. IT can prep machines, even if the licensing paperwork is still in progress.
Makes sense. And what about those really big deployments? You mentioned corporations.
Yeah, that's where KMS client keys come in. GVLK's generic volume license keys. These are essential for big corporate or educational setups. They let organizations install Windows in bulk and then activate all those machines using their own internal server, a KMS host.
So it scales up massively.
It really does. Makes managing licenses for thousands of machines much, much easier. Reduces overhead significantly. But there's a catch for organizations. If that internal KMS host gets compromised, well, you could see widespread activation failures.
Oof. Yeah, that sounds critical.
And another key point, these GVLKs, they only work with volume licensing setups. They're not compatible with the retail Windows you buy off the shelf.
Good to know. And they even help with upgrades, right? Making sure you land on the right edition.
Yes, exactly. They guide the upgrade process to ensure you install, say, Pro over Pro, not accidentally switch to Home or something.
Okay, so there are different types then. You mentioned GVLKs.
Yeah, there are a few main types. You've got the RTM keys released to manufacturing. Those are often used for the initial clean install. Then the GVLKs for volume scenarios we just talked about.
Yeah.
And even default keys used in something called OEM Activation 3.0.
OEM activation, that's for machines that come with Windows pre-installed, right? Like from Dell or HP.
That's the one. OA 3.0 links a key directly to the computer's hardware. It gives you that seamless, it just works experience when you first boot up a new PC. And it's also a pretty solid anti-piracy measure for Microsoft.
So all these different keys, RTM, GVLK, OEM defaults. How do they connect back to real activation? Because you keep saying they don't activate it themselves.
Right. And this is probably the single most important thing to grasp here. Generic keys, no matter the type, fundamentally cannot activate Windows on their own. They just don't have the unique cryptographic signature needed to prove authenticity.
Ah, the signature.
For proper activation, for long-term, fully functional use, you need either a valid, unique product key when you bought or a digital license linked to your Microsoft account.
So it's a two-step process, essentially. Install first, maybe with the generic key.
Then activate later with a proper license. By separating installation from activation like this, Microsoft gives flexibility. You can set up Windows for legitimate reasons, testing, getting machines ready.
But they still ensure you need a genuine license for the full, unrestricted, and crucially, legally compliant experience.
Exactly.
So what are the consequences then if you just don't activate? If you install with a generic key and leave it?
Well, you'll start hitting functional limits. Personalization's a big one, changing your wallpaper, colors, themes, lock screen that gets disabled.
Okay, so cosmetic stuff mostly.
Mostly, but not entirely. You'll also find access to many optional updates, some new features, and even the Windows Insider builds might be restricted. Microsoft uses this sort of soft enforcement. It's not like Windows stops working, but it nudges you, reminds you to activate.
And there's that watermark too, isn't there?
Oh yeah, the persistent Activate Windows watermark down in the corner. Plus, you get recurring pop-up reminders. It definitely impacts the user experience over time. It's designed to be a bit annoying.
Annoying, but not crippling for a home user, maybe. But what about businesses?
For businesses, it's a completely different story. Running unactivated Windows in a production environment, that's a direct violation of the EULA, the End User License Agreement.
So legal trouble.
Potentially significant legal trouble, yes. Think hefty fines, serious compliance issues if they face a software audit, and reputational damage, too. For organizations, generic keys are strictly tools for temporary installation or deployment scenarios. They are never meant for long-term, unactivated use on production machines.
Okay, that's a really critical distinction for any business listening. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway? It seems Windows generic keys are these carefully designed tools, right? Part of Microsoft's way of distributing software. They give flexibility, help with efficiency for initial setups, but they are absolutely tools, not licenses. Understanding that difference seems paramount for using Windows correctly and legally.
Precisely. They enable deployment, but not entitlement. And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. Microsoft allows Windows to run indefinitely in this unactivated state, albeit with limitations and those constant nags, rather than just shutting it down after a trial period. What does that strategy tell you about how they balance protecting their software and their IP versus ensuring Windows is absolutely everywhere, deeply integrated into, well, pretty much everything we do digitally? What does it make you think about the whole nature of software licensing today?